The Israel-Iran war enters another day. Israel has carried out an unprecedented strike on government targets in Tehran, hitting, among others, Revolutionary Guard facilities and the underground Fordo nuclear site. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz says the operation will continue, quote, with full intensity, and warns Iran will be severely punished for every missile launched toward Israel.
Overnight, a series of powerful explosions rocked central districts of Tehran. Israeli aircraft also struck the Parchin military complex and targets in the city of Karaj. According to Israeli sources, Iran responded with rocket fire.
A military aircraft carrying 64 Poles evacuated from Israel lands at Warsaw's Chopin Airport. Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski announces the evacuation mission is complete.
Overnight, a series of powerful explosions rocked central districts of Tehran.
U.S. forces report that all B-2 bombers used in Operation Midnight Hammer have returned to base. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance stresses that the goal was, quote, a war on Iran's nuclear program, not on Iran itself.
The Chinese daily Global Times accuses Washington of violating the UN Charter and setting a dangerous precedent by attacking sites protected by the IAEA.
Security experts warn of a possible blockade of the Strait of Hormuz and an escalation of terrorist attacks, noting that Iran has a, quote, 3H option: Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Hamas.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky declares that there is no place in the modern world for the development of weapons of mass destruction and condemns Iran's support for Russia.
Speaking in Brussels, Polish Foreign Minister Radosław Sikorski says the EU has used every diplomatic tool available to warn Iran against uranium enrichment. He fears the Middle East war could draw attention away from Ukraine.
Iran fires roughly 15 ballistic missiles towards Israel. Air raid sirens sound nationwide. Israel's air defense systems intercept most of the rockets.
Poland's government says it has no plans to deploy troops to the Middle East, but is monitoring the safety of its contingents in Iraq, Lebanon, and Turkey.
U.S. President Donald Trump suggests, quote, regime change in Iran, calling the destruction at the nuclear facilities monumental.
According to Iran's Mehr news agency, a bomb attack occurs near Japan's embassy in Tehran. Explosions are also reported on a university campus in the city's north.
Israel confirms a strike on Evin Prison, a symbol of political repression. Further targets include repressive institutions, a countdown clock to the annihilation of Israel, and the headquarters of the Revolutionary Guard Corps. IAEA Chief Rafael Grossi says the strike on Fordo probably caused very serious damage to the site's underground sections, but a full assessment will require on-site inspection.
Our U.S. base in Hasaka, northeastern Syria, is shelled with a mortar round. An investigation is underway to identify the perpetrators.
Power is cut in northern Tehran after a main transmission line is damaged during the Israeli raid.
3 tankers change course to avoid the Strait of Hormuz. Japanese shipping firms restrict vessel movements in the Persian Gulf.
Despite the threat to Hormuz, oil prices remain steady. AFP reports that marine traffic continues without interruption.
The Iranian military claims to have shot down 130 Israeli drones since the start of the hostilities.
China's foreign ministry calls for intensified efforts to de-escalate, stressing the strategic importance of the Gulf for global energy trade.
White House spokeswoman Caroline Leavitt reiterates that 3 Iranian nuclear facilities were completely destroyed and says President Trump would not have ordered the strikes without confidence in the outcome.
Israel continues large-scale strikes on Iranian military and regime targets. After hitting 3 atomic sites, the United States insists it has significantly delayed Tehran's nuclear program. Iran retaliates with rocket fire, threatens to close the Strait of Hormuz, and vows serious consequences for the U.S. and Israel. Meanwhile, the international community, from China to Turkey, calls for de-escalation, fearing the conflict could widen and shock global energy markets.